Welcome to Release to Revive. This is where we talk about you and your energy, how to manage your energy physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Welcome back, or welcome if you're here for the first time. I'm Jackie. We have a special guest today. My friend Chloe Richards. They have started a YouTube channel a couple of years ago. They are avid travelers, really fun. She's a Kiwi. Her partner Ludvig is a Swede, and they just make a really cool combo because she's super bubbly, bright, out there, and Ludvig has a very unique and subtle humor. It's very dry and hilarious to watch. We have Chloe on today, and she's just going through like how it all started, what kind of confidence hacks she used to push herself. And I was also really curious how she keeps her health habits while they're constantly traveling, because I'm such an avid ritual maker, but I always use like my environment to sort of trigger my rituals, and it really helps me. And so I was like curious about how she set that up around her space wherever she went, in all different Airbnbs or relocating every 6 months to a new home. We're going through that a little bit as well. They've just hit 11,000 subscribers on their YouTube, so we're celebrating that as well. So let's welcome the one and only Chloe Richards.
Yes, it's just me, Chloe. Ludvig's a little too brief to be on the podcast, so it's Chloe and not Ludvig today.
Yeah. I'm really curious myself. Like, what made you actually really take the step ahead of this like side hustle, I guess, still at this point?
I think ever since I met Ludvig,
Yeah.
like 7 years ago, we'd both been big travelers.
Yeah.
And we were both working seasonal jobs. So a winter ski season in Canada, and I was working at a summer camp in America. And our whole life, well, my whole life has been like ski seasons, summer seasons, and just saving up and then in between traveling. And I just kind of thought this isn't really super sustainable because I had no savings behind me, but all I wanted to do was see the world. It's literally what made me happy, gave me like a meaning of life, really, is to travel. So yeah, one day I just kind of said to Ludvig, I'd love to just make this into a business somehow. I totally thought it was a dream that was, far in the future, but I'd seen others doing it on social media. So yeah, with a little bit of resistance from Ludvig, I finally, bought a camera and a microphone and just started filming a little bit of what we were doing. And then the pandemic hit, and all of my motivation I still had the motivation, but all of my planning and organization and stuff just went out the window. And I just thought, oh, I'm going to have to think of something else now. And I think that's when I picked up the camera and started to film at home fitness. So I created a fitness channel and thought, well, I guess I'm super qualified in all this fitness stuff. I love teaching classes. So, okay, I guess I'll just do this then. And I built up that fitness YouTube channel. We got to about 700 subscribers, got some pretty good views, but my heart was not in it.
Yeah.
So slowly as the world started to open, I thought, okay, I'm going to keep pushing for this travel stuff. And yeah, eventually we finally got some content and got a little bit of traction. And yeah, my motivation just skyrocketed again. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. Like I think it's amazing that you had that pause, but then you still were like, that is my passion. Like it wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You might have just had to have a little break from it, but then you realized, oh no, this is definitely what I love doing.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah. Right? Even when I was filming the workouts, I was just like, oh, I'd love to be like on a cruise ship right now. And like, just doing my workout in private, but filming the travel bits. Like I'd prefer to have my workout is so special to me. I kind of thought like, I just would prefer to do this in private and not film it for anyone. Like, but the travel part, I would love to share with the world. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Workouts more for you.
Yeah. For my own personal life to give me energy to do my other stuff that I love, which I will share with people.
Yeah. And when you as well, like, what was your first travel? Like, I'm assuming your parents are quite into travel too. But like, what was your pinnacle travel moment? Do you think that where you were like, this is
I think
what I love?
My dad actually, well, we always traveled a little bit when I was little, but it was more for the business. Like my parents have a health club fitness in New Zealand, and we used to travel quite a lot overseas to do conferences and things, and would have a little bit of like a travel on the side of that. So it wasn't really like a proper holiday, but luckily we got to go to America and Australia and stuff. Yeah, so I think we went to a couple of different fitness conferences, and I think what really hooked me is when I was 20 years old, my dad, I was struggling a little bit as a teenager at home. I just like hated school and nothing would really kind of stick with me. And I know my dad showed me a little ad in the newspaper one day and he was like, "Hey, Chloe, look, you can go and be a camp counselor in America." And he kind of just encouraged me to do that. Yeah, I just went off at 20 years old, having never really done anything on my own before overseas. And yeah, I just got absolutely hooked. So from 20 years old, I was like, okay, travel.
Is that since how long you've done that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, since 20 years old, I've been doing seasonal work. Awesome. Yeah, pretty much. And like in between like summer camp, I'd be living in England doing like a nanny job or something like that. So just always kind of traveling jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I remember I met Chloe when we were both in Canada.
Yeah.
So you only just came off one of those camps in America, and I thought like, oh, that was so cool. But I only thought you may have done that for like maybe, I don't know, 2 years max.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You've done it for ages.
Yeah, I think I did five summers at camp.
Wow,
yeah, I got really
that's
hooked.
So cool.
Yeah.
Do you miss that? Do you think?
I do. I love seasonal work. Like I think I get really not bored, but I just really like change, obviously, and Ludvig likes a bit of change too, which is nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just love putting yourself all in for like 4 or 5 months, and then you can kind of look forward to a big break where you can travel and then go to another job for like 4 or 5 months. I find it's really exciting and it kind of keeps you motivated. Like you don't get too complacent. So yeah, that seemed to really work for me for like 10, 12 years.
Yeah. That leads me into another question, like health-wise, because you've always been really into your fitness throughout all this like travel you've been doing too. So, and you're obviously teaching fitness as one of your jobs too. But like, how do you, I'll preface this a little bit, because when I look at my like health routine, I'm not like super strict with routine or anything, but I like to get in a bit of a rhythm. So like I'll like set like Wednesdays, this kind of like weights day or whatever, and get rituals going. And I find my environment really helps me trigger those habits. Like, how did you always changing environments again and resetting again and again, right? Like, how do you, is there certain things that you always set up for yourself to kind of keep it consistent, or do you just, I don't know, how do you do it?
So obviously fitness has been a huge part of my life. Like when I was 20, when I went to go and work at Camp America in the first place, I was actually working in the gym in the camp. So I was doing personal training and teaching classes and things. So I think I've kind of picked seasonal work ahead of time, like subconsciously, I guess, knowing that I can keep my fitness routine up, because it's just such a daily thing for me. Like I don't even think about it. Like workout is just a part of my day. So I think when I'm planning on doing something a couple of months at a time, I'm always making sure that my fitness will be able to continue there.
Yeah.
So planning my Camp America trip, I knew I'd have a gym there. I'd be working in the gym. I can keep that up for an hour a day or whatever. And like even when I went to do the ski season where I met you, I researched, I saw there was a gym there, perfect. And I knew I was going to be doing a lot of snowboarding, so I would stay fit.
Yeah.
So I'm always planning ahead, but I'm not super strict on what that fitness might be.
Yeah.
I'm very flexible in the way that, okay, in the ski season I might not be able to go outdoors and do runs because it's obviously snowing and slippery. I know we tried that a couple of times. It's very dangerous. So I just thought, cool, my cardio might be snowboarding instead. And you just have to kind of go with the flow a little bit more. Yeah. It is nice though when you do get home from those little stints to have that base routine back at home for like 3 months or so where you can get back into that program or that base, and then be that little bit more flexible when you do take those longer journeys or travels.
So like being real, do you find like when you do get home and you get back into that like normal baseline routine, do you find you have fallen off a little bit and you're like, oh, I used to be way fitter from like the trip you just took? Or...
Oh yeah, it's weirdly though, I think of it as so exciting because I'm like, because like
I can grow again.
I've always been very fit and like kind of really, really happy with where I am in my fitness. And there's not really been, there's always a challenge and always the next level you can work towards. But I quite like the idea of coming back from, say, a big break where maybe I haven't done a lot of squats or something, and I come back and I'm like, oh, this is way heavier than it used to be. I'm like, oh, fun. Like I can build it up again. It's like quite fun for me.
Yeah.
I think that comes into the mindset of being a personal trainer, because like it's really fun to take complete beginners and teach them from scratch.
Yeah.
So I find that progress really exciting to track. So yeah, you do definitely fall off the bandwagon, as you say, just a little bit, but I just kind of find it motivating. Yeah.
And so when as well, some of the thing that's been like lingering in the back of my head right now is when you, because when what I talk about to my viewers is like energy, but energy is everything, right? And it's just like energy for what you love and what you do. I guess it's also giving you confidence for that. So how do you, because you immerse yourself obviously in these different scenarios all the time, like every 6 months almost, or maybe to a year at this stage. What would you say to someone that's like never been overseas or never even left their hometown, let's say, to do something a bit different? Would you, like how would you encourage them? What would you say to them, do you think, is like a piece to remember when you go over there?
Yeah. To encourage them to go.
Because you seem to do it effortlessly. Like you're just like, oh, I'll go here now. And I feel like it's a huge step for some people.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's such a good question. I've never thought of that. I think, because it has become so effortless since I was like in my adult life, I've been doing that. And it is scary. Like I still get scared if I go on trips on my own, especially like you still do get that sort of discomfort and you're out of your comfort zone. But I'm such a massive believer in not sticking within your box, like where you feel safe and comfortable, because that's so tempting to just stay there. But like life is outside of that box, and you'll discover so much about yourself and discover so many different skills and qualities, and you'll make a lot of connections on the way. So I think the connections you make are really, really worth it. But just kind of giving yourself that push to get out there, because you'll probably become addicted, or find like a different part of yourself that you didn't know was there. And I feel like traveling really does that. So
I love the way you put that, because I say that too, when our environment creates who we are, right? Like you become, like you almost pick up a different identity, I feel like, when you're around different environments sometimes. But that's cool that you said it, how you just find something different inside you. And you just it's more like a discovery of self. It's really cool.
I think especially when I go on these solo trips by myself, like I already just started doing that recently, because Ludvig obviously works full-time at home, and I'm sort of going part-time with work at the moment, so I can allow for a little bit of travel. So I've had to take the camera, pack my suitcase, and go by myself to quite a few places recently. And I noticed I was really more nervous than usual going all by myself, and especially having a camera and a microphone in public and talking by yourself. You get just looks from everybody, and you I felt this sort of feeling of discomfort or self-consciousness, and I'm thinking, hang on, and I kind of take a step back and have like a third person moment staring down at me, and I'm sort of thinking, why are you feeling this way? Like you're just kind of creating the thoughts in your head of what these people are thinking. It's not a fact, like just cognitive behavior therapy, I think it's called.
It's very clever.
And so I kind of just get on with it and just think
because like what we think someone else is thinking is just what
we decided.
It's our perception. Exactly.
I do it all the time, and then I take a step back and like, hang on, did they say that to me? No, I made it up in my own brain.
There might have been like an eye look. But you're reading and interpreting it. They might even think the opposite. Like if you're thinking, oh, they're judging me for like a bad way. They're probably like, wow, she's got the guts to do that. Like you might be inspiring them instead.
So that's what I try and think.
That's so cool. I remember as well, because I was a photographer for years, like doing some quirky and like different sort of projects out and about as well. You'd have the big cameras and people would be staring, and you're just kind of like, no, you just gotta be confident, like just rock with it, roll with it.
Exactly.
It's definitely a bit of a hurdle to overcome though at first.
Absolutely. And even if you don't have a camera, like just going out by yourself, traveling, not necessarily like all of your listeners will want to go on a solo trip, but naturally when you're by yourself, you do feel like maybe all eyes are on you, like you're doing something wrong if you're not used to traveling. And you just kind of got to, it would take a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks or months to actually get used to that and it's changing of routine. And
it's interesting too though, because I guess like you and Chloe, you and Ludvig met when we were met as well at that same resort. But before that, you obviously did a lot of travel as well. So do you find just being with Ludvig kind of put you in a little bit of a comfort zone for then you to be like, oh, I could do this solo again?
Yeah.
It is a bit of a
It's weird actually that you mentioned that, but Ludvig is just such a supportive person to have by my side that even if I'm in a different continent to him, I know that he's right there beside me in a way. He's so supportive of everything that I do. I feel really safe even if I'm in a different country. It's weird, but because I'll receive messages and calls from him and things. We don't actually, to be honest, talk often when I'm overseas and on a trip. I'm so immersed in what I'm doing. I'll flick him a message like once a day and I'm like, I'm busy. And I feel really bad that I'm in total work mode, but I'm still I feel so confident. But he did give me a sense of you can go out there and do anything you want. I believe in you. I feel I don't know if you can swear on your thing, but when I first, it's not really swearing, but when I first decided I was going to go on a solo trip, I think, and I was kind of umming and ahhing, and he took my shoulders and he turned me towards him and he was like, Chloe, you're a boss bitch. You can do anything you want, girl. And I was like, I love you. So he's really cute.
That's good. Yeah. Oh, and now, oh damn, I had a good question before because you were talking about going solo, but then also your schedule, because because they're visiting us at the moment, guys, for 4 days, I think it was. And I always see Chloe sneak away and she does her thing. And I'm like, this is brilliant because, like you were saying, it takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
You've got this dream, obviously, you're making your way towards it. How do you navigate that? Talk to me about how you kind of, I got to do, is there a list, you kind of checklist off of what you want to get done every day to kind of make progress? How do you?
Well, at home, I'm super old-fashioned. At home in my routine when we live in New Zealand or whichever country we were in at the time, I'm super onto my routine. I'll have it, old-fashioned in the way where I don't really write it on Google Calendars. I'll have literally a diary of pen and paper and I'll write it down on my desk so I can visualize what I need to do each day rather than going on my phone. I find that easier.
Do you write it out each day then?
Yeah, I write out my to-do list every day. And usually what my dad taught me is write number 1 next to the highest priority and then all the way down to 5 in order of what you want to do that day and which one's the most important. And so everyday life, it's really easy to do that. When I'm traveling and visiting friends and things, it's obviously that little bit harder. But like I do is spend an hour a day, or maybe if I'm on holiday with a group of friends, I'll set my alarm an hour earlier than all of those guys getting up maybe, so that I can have an hour to myself where I can just make myself a coffee, quickly get it done. And usually in the morning it feels more satisfying to kind of get it done and dusted, and then you have the rest of the day to hang out and be happy and chill and be on holiday. So when you're traveling, it definitely does get a lot more stressful, keeping that routine. But got to kind of, I think being disciplined is super easy if you love something so much. I'm just literally so excited to go on my computer and keep editing and doing stuff to do with our YouTube channel because I'm just so excited about it. It's no stress really.
And there's a lot of hats you wear. You obviously got to do the marketing on social media to kind of let people know about you, and then you're doing the editing, like you said, your back end stuff, and filming, and all these other things.
I know. Cool.
Plus, you guys are starting to negotiate to do brand deals, and that's also a back end thing that no one sees.
I recently, because I love professional development, I know you do as well, and I love buying courses and reading ebooks and listening to podcasts and just constantly learning. And it's fun. I was learning, I'm so new to all this brand deal stuff. I don't really know, where the heck do you start with charging money? I don't even know. And so I was reading an ebook that I purchased, and I believe in if you want value, you have to be willing to sort of pay for the good stuff to get value. And I feel when you do pay for things, you're more likely to stick with the learning. So I paid for this ebook, and
pay attention.
Exactly. Yes. And I was reading this ebook, and it was talking all about how a content creator is worth the money that you're charging, because you're wearing the hat of the model or
Mhm.
the cameraman, the lighting man, the script writer, the marketing person. Like there's so many different people, and you're doing all of those jobs. So when you ask for that money, like just remember you are doing all those jobs for that brand.
Yeah.
Like
rewind just a few years. I mean, there still are agencies that are doing these things, but it's like you're putting all that agency work into one little pocket of yours.
Yeah, exactly.
And making it into like a really relatable piece for them that you're able to create. And they've seen your work, so it's really good. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So funny you mentioned that, because it's like a job of maybe 5 people in one or 2. Ludvig does a few little bits and pieces. Yeah.
We joke. And it's, what is it? Chloe and sometimes Ludvig.
Yeah, we were thinking of changing our business name to Chloe and sometimes Ludvig.
Because you're the more, I guess, passionate about travel.
Yeah, he loves traveling, but he wouldn't be doing all this if I wasn't booking it for him.
Yeah.
Like he loves it once he gets there. Yeah. And he's like, oh, wow, thanks for doing this. Like, yeah, you're welcome. I knew you'd like it. Yeah. Did
you ever think along the way that you like, because I know some people, when myself, I'm going to talk for myself, looking for like careers and like drives and where I want to go in life and do work-wise, like when you find a passion like that, you're like, oh, maybe one of my thoughts would be maybe I could be a travel agent, like booking trips for others. Yeah. But at the same time, then you're probably just going to get jealous about their trips because you just want to go on them yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, I've always thought about being a travel agent, because I feel like for my whole family, my mum, my dad, sister, brother, and their partners, whenever we go on trips, I'll book everything for everybody.
Wow.
Like it's so much fun. I must say, I'm a little bit selfish because I put it on my American Express, so I get all their points, and they pay me back.
Nice.
So that's a fun fact for your listeners. If you want to earn a lot of points, book for your friends and family and get them to pay you back. Yeah. That you've got all the points from booking on your credit card.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't really think about that. Yeah. Like, I don't use that.
Yeah. But also I do it because it's a lot of fun. Like, because I got a lot of satisfaction out of seeing their faces when they, experience these fun things with us. So yeah, it's really, really exciting to book their things for them.
Yeah. That's cool. That's really cool.
But yeah, being a travel agent, I always thought, a travel agent or like an air hostess or something to do with traveling. But like exactly like you just said, I would get so jealous of the person sitting in the business class seat that I'm like serving if I was an air hostess. Or like booking that like African safari for that person. I'm booking it, but
I'm coming with you.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like it probably wouldn't work out long term.
Yeah. And I know you guys got your wedding coming up, but like, what's next for you? Do you think travel wise? Do you have thoughts ahead after that? Yeah, your eyes just widen. I love that.
I book I plan things like 3 years in advance.
Wow,
it's a bit crazy. I'm also really flexible as well. Like not too rigid about those things, but I'm just. Because travel is like a lot of stuff we want to do is very seasonal. So you kind of have to be very aware of what time of year that would work and will that fit in with that thing we have planned for those couple of months. Yeah. So we've got a lot of stuff in the works for, I'd say, I pretty much know what we're doing for the next 18 months. Yeah. It's a lot.
Awesome. Yeah. It's so funny because like you're such a bubbly, fun person. And I always think like, because I'm like that too, I always think like, it's a bit more spontaneous and things like that. But you plan so much. Yeah. It's amazing. You're very like
I love the planning.
Articulate with it. Yeah.
I feel like weirdly what's almost just as fun as the actual travel itself is the planning of the travel.
Yeah.
Like, that gives me so much joy and satisfaction as sitting on my computer like at night when Ludvig's already gone to bed. I'm like, I'm gonna pour myself a glass of wine and I'm gonna research stuff for 2 hours at night and it's just
for us Airbnb. That's one of my little hobbies.
Like look up unique hotels and find like crazy weird train rides across whole countries and it's just so much fun to just look at the stuff and let alone do it, in real life. Yeah.
And you have a very like, because you've got this strong drive I see in you. Is there any like practices, because I know manifestation is such a big word these days, like and you were saying, we actually had a conversation about this the other day, that your parents have sort of taught you some of those strategies.
Yeah.
What are some of those things that you implement? Like, is it visualization, or what are some things that you think help you reach those goals and bring those things into your reality, I guess, as like,
it's so interesting. Like we were saying recently, manifestation has become kind of like a keyword that I hear all the time. And when I have delved into it, a lot of the things I'm hearing are things that I already do.
Yeah.
Based on what my parents have done for me and my siblings. Like little things like we don't use the word if this happens. We say when this happens. Like my dad has always taught us kids that. Even when we were at primary school, like, oh, if I place in that swimming competition, they're like, no, when you do, Chloe, when you do.
Yeah.
And just like that thought, it just changes the sentence completely, you know? And
absolute confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of that uncertain, I don't know.
Yeah. And I think what my parents have done avidly our whole entire upbringing is setting really precise goals where it's not just, oh, I'm just going to say a goal and maybe it will happen. Like they'll write it down, like you say, visualize it.
Yeah.
My dad will have all sorts of things in his office, like if he'd be like, oh, in 2 years he plans to have a big giant health club. And he has this picture of a big health club on his wall next to his computer that he works on, and he just looks at it every single day. And that's what we've always done when we were little, is visualize something, because Dad says, if you see it every day, it's going to be ingrained in your brain. And have a time frame for that goal. I think it's SMART goals. Have a time frame, be really precise, an exact figure or a number or it's money. And my dad has just like a bookshelf full of business motivational books. One of them that has stuck with me forever is Think and Grow Rich. And that's all about visualizing what you want. And not even that, but pretending you have it already. Like acting as if I'm a full-time YouTuber right now has been how I've thought since we had 1 subscriber. Like, I've always known it was my job and that was going to be my career. So I just pretended it was already happening in a way. I think I just went on so long then, but
that was really good. Because I dive into that stuff as well. It's pretty much on point. Like from what I've learned too. Because that again about the identity piece that you're saying, like you're already that person. Because that's the thing I find with myself. I catch myself doing this too. But also when I talk to other people, we put our dreams like into the future. And so we're like, like even when we say when I'm this. But it's like, well, why can't you be that now?
Exactly. So true.
And you like, it's like as if we wait for this like magical day to become this person to then be able to do the thing. I remember I read a book called Slight Edge, and that's really shifted in me because it was like about people like doing the thing and then having the power was one of the quotes. And it meant like you can't expect to. I always give a basic example of like running. You can't expect to be a runner without going out and running. Like you can't wait to like all of a sudden feel like a runner to then go out for a run. You have to just do the run and then you become a runner.
Exactly.
Like that's with any kind of thing that you do.
I've always known, or all of the learning that I've done is like, don't wait till it's perfect. Don't wait, because there's never going to be that perfect time. The ebook I'm reading right now is Take Messy Action. Like, that's what they keep saying is take messy action. Like don't wait for that perfectly planned day or time when you feel great and it's like, there on a platter for you. Like do it right now. Like there's no better time than this second.
Is that called Messy Action, that book?
No. It's just like a collaboration booklet that I found of a really awesome girl on Instagram. She teaches you all about content creation and how to price your posts and videos and all that stuff.
Awesome. Diving into something new like this, myself too, going into a new career, there is so much to learn. So much, right? Like, and again, that takes confidence. You need to like be willing to be the beginner. So true. How do you navigate that? Like, what do you?
Oh my goodness. Funny you say that, because like that was one of the big things kind of holding me back from like actually starting and making our very first travel video, because I knew nothing. Like I hate technology. Like I said, like when I write my daily planner, it's pen to paper out of a piece of paper, and I like to see it, and I just get frustrated with technology and I don't want to read instructions. Like it's just super annoying. Like I can't even barely use the remote for the TV at home. Like Ludvig has to do everything. So that was kind of scaring me away from doing it, because I knew, oh man, like I'm choosing a career that's very heavily technology based. Like my background is like I've done a lot of performing arts, like acting and stuff. So I love being in front of the camera and like being, like a TV host or an actress or something. And that's why YouTube sounded good for me.
Yeah.
Then I sort of thought, actually, like that's a lot to do with camera, microphone as well. Like you say, 5 different people in one job, So I had to learn, how to use a camera. I still don't really know. I just kind of turn it on and hope for the best. Sometimes I have to redo everything. And we're just slowly learning as we go. Like I'm day by day just learning for 5 minutes a day how to use a new setting on my camera, or like trialing a new filter on my phone or something. I still don't really know what I'm doing. That can be really daunting though, learning a new thing. The thought of having to learn something new can put you off completely, but just know that you don't have to be perfect the next day. You can literally, I think I'm going to be 20 years still learning little bits and pieces about the camera, because I'm going to do it really slowly so that I don't get overwhelmed by it all.
But I love that you're still moving in the direction of what you're doing. You're not like, oh, I need to learn this before I start.
Yeah, exactly.
That's procrastination for life.
When I was researching on like, how do I do YouTube? Like, what do I do? Because I didn't know how to video edit or anything. And all the blog posts I read and all the YouTube videos I'd watched were saying you need to download Adobe Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro or whatever they're called. And I actually downloaded one of them. Cost me like $200 per year, and I just got so lost and confused, and I didn't know how to do it. I think I wasted that money because I tried to edit once, and then I decided, I can't do this, it's too hard. And then when we ended up doing our very first little bunch of travel videos, I just used iMovie, which is the free thing on the Mac. And to this day I still use iMovie, and it's so funny because it's the most basic free software that you can possibly use. And I get so many comments on our videos like, wow, great video editing. Wow, very good. Like, so professional. Like, what software do you use? I'm like, iMovie.
It's not the tools. It's not always the tools.
Like, I'm amazed when they say that. I'm like, are you serious?
It's that classic, like there's an Australian saying about like camping gear, all the gear and no idea. Like someone has like the biggest truck and like but they don't know how to use it.
Oh, that's so funny.
I love that you make do with those. But it's like it's about me becoming a mum. I've realized like trying to do things more efficiently and quicker. It's about what works for you. Because trying to like complicate the editing system and trying to learn a complicated like program that you're not used to, I do the same. Like, even though I'm coming from a background of more techie knowledge of like cameras, I stripped back to a really easy editing program recently too, because I was like, it's way quicker. I don't need to mess around with too much things. Learn something like new in that. I can just do what I already know. And but then obviously you want to learn some things to get better. And that kind of just do that slowly over time, so it's not too daunting. Totally. But I wonder, I've loved having you. I could talk all day.
I'm like, I think I have like 3 more hours.
But
I'm getting sweaty now. Australia.
I'm gonna go for a workout. Stick to our routine. Like, where can they find you? Let them know. But also, like, what's one more piece before you say that? What's one more piece you would tell someone that wants to do what you're doing? Like, has that big dream that wants to dive into it? What would you say to them to just do it? Like, what is that? Like, is there something you can give them, or something you would say to yourself when you were first doubting? And
oh my gosh, so many things spring to mind. But like, I think rounding it back to like being uncomfortable or like stepping out of your comfort zone. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were saying, it was talking about like staying young and keeping your brain, young throughout old age. And one of the best things you can do is put yourself in an uncomfortable position every day. So this guy, he was like a scientist, and he's teaching his kids to do something uncomfortable once a day. And I think he got his little girl to sing at the top of her lungs sitting on the tube in London, where it's like all these commuters with their suitcases, their, phones, the AirPods, and she just like started singing, and she's like, Dad, I did it. I made myself really uncomfortable. I was so nervous. And he's like, great job. And I was already doing that kind of thing. But when I heard that podcast, I was like, sweet, I'm going to stay young and do that. But I think just, taking yourself that step, out of your box every single day. It can just be like a tiny thing to begin with. Like, maybe it's going to the supermarket by yourself. If you usually always go with your partner or your family, those teeny little things can gradually build up. And you'll eventually realize that you're capable of so much more than you think. And it's really exciting when you push that barrier to the side and you're like, wow, like nothing's really a limitation for me.
Yeah.
So,
I call it building the courage muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Little piece by little. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, where can they find you?
So, yes, it's Chloe and Ludvig on YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe soon to be sometimes Chloe Ludvig. No, actually just Chloe and Ludvig. And same on Instagram. And same on TikTok.
TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Cool. Yeah. Follow their travels and lots of adventures.
And subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
And then I think you guys, what, 11K now?
Yeah, just hit 11,000 subscribers. Soon to be 100,000.
Yeah, 10xing, I reckon.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
It'll like exponentially just.
I know. 1 million.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. Every morning on my phone at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
I have a little vibration on my phone that reminds me 1 million on YouTube.
Yes.
I set that up like 3 years ago, and it still does it every morning.
That's
cool. So yeah, that's another little. I just forgot about that, but that sort of visualization stuff.
Yeah, like a prompt reminder.
Yeah,
because you're seeing it every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Powerful.
My mum and like Ludvig will see it. They're like, "What is this alarm every morning at 9 a.m.?" I'm like, "It's my 1 million on YouTube."
Yeah, it's the reason I get up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yay! Well, thank you so much, Chloe. This has been so cool.
Yeah, this is fun.
Oh, yes! I love these conversations. And what an absolute powerhouse. Chloe is such an inspiration to me. I just see so much of myself in her, which is hilarious. Like we're both very active and just driven women, and she makes me laugh. She's such a beautiful person. But 2 main takeaways that I want to just highlight again for you guys so you can walk away and actually implement something into your life from this. The 2 that I took away for myself were that third person view. So when she felt a little uncomfortable doing something that was a bit like new, a bit awkward and a bit weird, like in public doing filming, of course you're going to get some eyes. She then just took a break, stepped back in her mind and was like, okay, as a third person looking down at me, I'm doing my dream. I'm doing this for what I love. And whatever other people think of me, like I'm just projecting that from my own mind. Like she said, I made it up in my own mind. Is it true? I don't know. I haven't talked to them. You don't know what they're thinking. Maybe they're super inspired by you doing it. So just keep going. That was one of my key takeaways. Confidence in crowds. Yes. The second one is using the word when. And I've mentioned this before in like an early episode, a solo episode. Changing up your language is so powerful, and it's just one word switch. Instead of saying things when you're speaking about your dreams and your goals and saying, oh, if I do this and if I get that, switch it to when. When I get this, when I get that, because it puts so much more emphasis on it's going to happen. You're expecting it. And even if things don't work out right away, straight away, like you will still find a way. That's your subconscious work, your mindset around it. Super powerful, guys. You must implement this. And that's it from me, guys, today. So remember to subscribe. Chloe mentioned where you can find her. And of course, follow me if you want more support with your energy and your confidence at Release to Revive. And of course, subscribe to the podcast or share it with someone if you found it helpful. Breathe and be brave, my friends.